Greetings, friends. Mickey Hart of the Grateful Dead said this: "To fall in love is to fall in rhythm." Many of us have worked so hard to find a rhythm of life that we can fall in love with, a way of doing things, of living that feels right. That Ecclesiastes-type balance: time to work, time to play, time to produce and time to lay fallow, time to be with others and time to step away. But grief and loss and disappointment comes when something disrupts that, whether that's the loss of a loved one or a beloved way of life, or a way of doing ministry. Pastors and worship teams, you are doing so much, and so much that is out of the ordinary. Our rhythms of the way we minister have been disrupted, and there can be a sense of loss in that. I've had several events canceled, which impacts greatly my ministry, which is also a small business, including my beloved Tahoe retreat that I hold every May. And I went through deep moments of disappointment and honestly some fear, realizing that life as I had known it, curated it, created it, was inevitably changed. And changed to what? We don't really know. But we now cannot turn away from the fragility of our society and of humanity that we have witnessed. All of this can build up inside as we muster our best efforts and courage, which is admirable. But we need more than just pulling up the bootstraps. To decompress is to release the pressure on something. And sometimes to do this simply means to name out loud those things that we're holding in and that are building up, to let it air out. And when we do that, at least what that did for me was to make room for reassessing. Sometimes I like to call it a come to Jesus moment. And I think that's probably pretty accurate. Heck, I even bought a Sacred Heart Jesus at the grocery store and started talking to it. And that's pretty uncharacteristic for me. But reassessing offers a chance to say out loud what might be truer than was possible to speak before, when we had so much invested in the way things were, the structures we had worked so hard to put in place. For me, the time since decompressing, since grieving the loss of the exact kind of structures I had put in place, I've been freed up to say that some of the trajectory I was on was not life-giving for me. And I saw this moment as an opportunity to get real about that, to speak it out loud. What voices in my own head, and those voices sometimes made of others' opinions and expectations, was I paying attention to that didn't quite feel right for my soul? How can I take the things I'm learning in this moment to heart? And if I'm having to recreate this moment, what do I want that creation to look like? For some of you, it may be reassessing a way of communicating, of caring for the people in your congregation. It may be a question of how can we keep some of the added depth of sharing that we're doing in worship that we weren't doing before. It may be a decision to focus in one direction and not another. Whatever it is, this kind of discerning is often what people who come to my elevation retreat in Tahoe end up thinking about and journaling about and talking to new friends and perhaps significant others that they brought to the retreat with them about. Part of my disappointment in canceling my Tahoe retreat was that I feel like this kind of deep discerning is so needed in this moment for all of us. And I was looking forward to doing that. So I'm not going to let go of that. Join me on the same evening that I would have been welcoming folks to the lake as the sun sets, Monday, May 11th. I'll invite us all into a brief time of retreat to decompress and reassess and simply be. We'll talk about beauty and resilience in traumatic times. We'll simply stop for a couple of hours and not think about how to create a video backdrop or what online platform is best. There's plenty of information out there, friends. Let's spend some time with exformation rather than information, as my interplay friends would call it. So register and you'll get instructions about making your space as retreat-full as possible, including some of the elements of this beautiful lake that I usually bring folks to. And we will make it possible for a time out of time experience for our souls. I'll see you there.